In the heart of the Igbo land, nestled between lush green hills and whispering rivers, there was a small village called Umuofia. This village, vibrant and bustling, was home to ancient traditions and spirited people. Among the many families in Umuofia lived a young boy named Obi. Obi was a lively child, always full of laughter and mischief. He had the kind of smile that could melt the hardest of hearts. His parents, hard-working farmers, adored him and did everything they could to provide for him. However, their peaceful life took a turn when Obi's mother, Ifoma, fell ill. Ifoma's illness was sudden and severe. Despite the efforts of the village healer and the prayers of the villagers, she grew weaker with each passing day. Obi's father, Chikwudi, was devastated. He did everything in his power to save her, but fate had other plans. One fateful night, with a soft sigh and a tearful farewell, Ifoma passed away, leaving a void that seemed impossible to fill. Chikwudi, now a grieving widower, struggled to care for Obi while maintaining the farm. His sister, Adaku, offered to help. Adaku was known in the village for her stern demeanor and strict ways. She was a woman who valued discipline above all else, and she believed that children should be seen and not heard. When Adaku moved into their home, life changed drastically for Obi. The once warm and loving household turned cold and harsh. Adaku, instead of being a nurturing figure, became a tyrant. She saw Obi's lively nature as a flaw that needed correction. The laughter that once filled the house was replaced with scolding and punishment. "Obi, have you finished your chores?" Adaku's voice rang out early one morning. The sun had just risen, casting a golden hue over the village. "Yes, Aunty," Obi replied timidly, his eyes downcast. "Then why is there still dust on the floor? Are you blind, or just lazy?" she snapped, her eyes narrowing. Obi's small hands trembled as he clutched the broom. "I will clean it again, Aunty." Adaku's harsh words were a daily occurrence, and Obi learned to endure them in silence. But her cruelty extended beyond scolding. She often denied him food, made him work long hours in the fields, and kept him from playing with other children. The village elders noticed the change in Obi, but Adaku's intimidating presence kept them from intervening. One evening, as Obi sat by the river, tears streaming down his face, he heard a soft rustling in the bushes. Out stepped an old man, his hair white as snow, and his eyes twinkling with wisdom. This was Nnadi, the village storyteller, known for his enchanting tales that held the wisdom of generations. "Why do you weep, young one?" Nnadi asked, his voice gentle and soothing. Obi wiped his tears and looked up at the old man. "Aunty Adaku is so mean to me. She makes me work all day and calls me names. I miss my mother." Nnadi sat beside Obi and placed a comforting hand on his shoulder. "I have seen the way she treats you, Obi. It is not right. But remember, every hardship is a test, and every test has a lesson. Do you know the story of the tortoise and the leopard?" Obi shook his head, his curiosity piqued despite his sorrow. Nnadi smiled and began his tale. "Once upon a time, in a dense forest, lived a cunning tortoise named Akena. He was small and slow, but his mind was sharp as a blade. In the same forest lived a fierce leopard, Onyekachi, who believed that strength and speed were the only things that mattered. Onyekachi often bullied the smaller animals, and Akena was no exception. One day, Onyekachi decided to catch Akena and make an example of him. He chased Akena through the forest, his powerful legs closing the distance quickly. But Akena, though slow, was clever. He led Onyekachi to a narrow path that ended at a deep ravine. Onyekachi, blinded by his rage, followed without thinking. As they reached the edge, Akena stopped suddenly and turned to face the leopard. "Why do you chase me, Onyekachi?" he asked. "Because I can," The leopard growled. You are weak, and I am strong. It is the way of the world. Akena nodded thoughtfully. Perhaps you are right. But tell me, Onyekachi, can you leap across this ravine? Onyekachi, confident in his abilities, smirked. Of course, I can. Then show me, Akena said, stepping aside. Without hesitation, Onyekachi took a running start and leapt. But the ravine was wider than he had judged, and he found himself falling, unable to reach the other side. As he fell, he realized too late that his strength and speed were useless without wisdom. Akena, standing safely on the edge, watched as the leopard disappeared into the depths. Strength is important, Onyekachi, he murmured, but so is wisdom. Nnadi finished his tale and looked at Obi. Do you see, Obi? Sometimes, it is not enough to be strong or fast. Sometimes, you must use your mind and your heart. Adaku may be harsh and strong, but you have something she does not, the courage and wisdom to endure and find a way through your trials. Obi listened intently, feeling a spark of hope ignite within him. Nnadi's words resonated deeply, and he vowed to find a way to change his circumstances. Days turned into weeks, and Obi endured Adaku's cruelty with newfound resilience. He observed her closely, learning her routines and habits. He noticed that she loved to boast about her control over the household to the other women in the village, particularly during the weekly market day. One market day, as Adaku prepared to leave, Obi approached her with a polite request. Aunty, may I come with you to the market today? I can help carry the goods. Adaku eyed him suspiciously but relented, seeing an opportunity to show off her dominance. Very well, but you must stay by my side and do exactly as I say. At the market, Adaku basked in the admiration of the other women, while Obi quietly observed. He saw a familiar face in the crowd, Nnadi, the storyteller. Their eyes met, and Nnadi gave a subtle nod, encouraging Obi to be brave. As Adaku haggled with a vendor, Obi slipped away and approached the village chief, Chief Uba. He bowed respectfully and spoke with determination. Chief Uba, I need your help. My Aunty Adaku is very harsh to me. She makes me work all day and calls me names. I miss my mother, and I do not know what to do. Chief Uba, a wise and fair leader, had heard rumors of Adaku's behavior. He looked at Obi with compassion. Fear not, young one. I will speak to Adaku. But you must be brave and stand up for yourself when the time comes. With renewed hope, Obi returned to Adaku's side, his heart pounding with anticipation. As they walked home, he felt a sense of purpose growing within him. He knew that he had taken the first step towards changing his life. That evening, as they sat down to dinner, Chief Uba arrived at their doorstep. Adaku's face paled as she greeted him. Chief Uba, what brings you to our humble home? Chief Uba entered with an air of authority. I have heard troubling reports about how you treat young Obi. It is unacceptable for any child to be subjected to such harshness. As a member of this community, you have a responsibility to care for him with kindness and respect. Adaku stammered, trying to defend herself. Chief, I only want what is best for him. He needs discipline to grow up strong and responsible. Chief Uba's gaze hardened. Discipline should never be an excuse for cruelty. Obi is a bright and courageous boy, and he deserves to be treated with love and fairness. If you cannot provide that, arrangements will be made for his care. Adaku's resolve crumbled under the chief's stern words. She realized that her reputation and standing in the village were at stake. She nodded reluctantly. I understand, Chief. I will treat Obi better from now on. Chief Uba turned to Obi and placed a hand on his shoulder. You have shown great courage, Obi. Never forget that you have the power to change your own story. If you ever need help, you can always come to me. With that, Chief Uba left, and a newfound sense of peace settled over the household. Adaku, though still stern, began to soften her approach. She realized that her harshness was not the answer and that true strength came from kindness and understanding. Obi's life gradually improved. He continued to work hard, but now he was allowed time to play and learn. The other villagers, inspired by Chief Uba's intervention, became more attentive to the well-being of the children in their community. Years passed, and Obi grew into a wise and compassionate young man. He never forgot the lessons he had learned from Nnadi and Chief Uba. He became a storyteller like Nnadi, sharing tales of courage, wisdom, and kindness with the younger generation. His favorite story was the one about the tortoise and the leopard, for it held a special place in his heart and served as a constant reminder of his journey. One day, as Obi sat beneath the great baobab tree, surrounded by eager children, he began to tell his story. The children listened with wide eyes and bated breath, hanging on to his every word. They marveled at the trials he had faced and the bravery he had shown. Remember, children, Obi concluded, no matter how difficult life may seem, there is always a way to overcome. You have within you the strength and wisdom to face any challenge. Never forget the power of kindness and the importance of standing up for what is right. As the children dispersed, their minds filled with dreams and aspirations, Obi felt a sense of fulfillment. He had turned his pain into a source of strength and inspiration for others. His heart swelled with pride, knowing that he had made a difference in the lives of those who listened to his stories. One evening, as the sun dipped below the horizon, casting a warm glow over the village, Obi received an unexpected visitor. Adaku, now an older and frailer woman, approached him with a humble demeanor. She had aged significantly, and her once stern eyes were now filled with regret. Obi, she began, her voice trembling, I have come to ask for your forgiveness. I was wrong in the way I treated you. I let my own pain and bitterness cloud my judgment. You have grown into a remarkable young man, and I am proud of you. Obi looked at his aunt, his heart filled with a mix of emotions. He had long since moved past the pain she had caused, choosing instead to focus on the positive changes in his life. He took her hand gently and smiled. Aunty Adaku, I forgave you a long time ago. We all make mistakes, and we all have the capacity to change. What matters is that we learn from our past and strive to be better. Tears welled up in Adaku's eyes as she embraced her nephew. Thank you, Obi. Your forgiveness means more to me than you will ever know. From that day forward, Adaku and Obi forged a new bond. She became a supportive figure in his life, and together, they worked to heal the wounds of the past. Adaku found solace in helping others, and she dedicated her time to the village's children, ensuring that they were treated with love and respect. Obi's life continued to flourish. He became a respected leader in the village, known for his wisdom and compassion. He married a kind-hearted woman named Nneka, and together, they raised a family of their own. Their home was filled with laughter, love, and the stories that had shaped Obi's life. One day, as Obi sat with his own children, he told them the story of the tortoise and the leopard, just as Nnadi had told him so many years ago. He watched as their eyes lit up with wonder, and he felt a deep sense of gratitude for the journey he had undertaken. As the years passed, Obi's legacy lived on through the stories he told and the lives he touched. His children and grandchildren carried forward his teachings, spreading kindness and wisdom throughout the village and beyond. The story of the young boy who faced adversity with courage and transformed his life became a cherished part of Umuofia's heritage. And so, in the heart of the Igbo land, the tale of Obi and his triumph over cruelty continued to inspire generations. It reminded them that no matter how dark the days may seem, there is always a glimmer of hope, a spark of courage, and the possibility of a brighter tomorrow. The end.
Thanks for watching. For more content, subscribe to our channel, like, share, and comment on this video.